The B-2 stealth bomber. It was developed during the Cold War and is still one of the most impressive warplanes ever constructed. But now, the US is developing a brand new aircraft, one that's even more advanced, more secretive, and potentially more powerful. The B-21 Raider. This next-generation bomber is set to become the new king of the skies. A weapon designed to dominate in a world where geopolitical tensions are rising. For nearly a decade, the US military kept the B-21 shrouded in secrecy. And even today, only fragments of information are public. Just enough to reveal a bomber unlike anything the world has seen before. Where the B-21 is coming from, we'll take a look at the current model, the B-2 Spirit. The birth of the B-2 stealth bomber was a key moment in the Cold War. This decades-long conflict between the US and the Soviet Union was a fight for dominance in almost every aspect of global power. It was a non-stop race to see who could outperform in military supremacy and nuclear domination. And that race reached its peak with the B-2 Spirit, a bomber designed to carry nuclear weapons and keep enemies afraid of attack. Instead of sending out the slow-moving flying castles of the past, this ghost ship could deliver a nuclear payload to the Kremlin without ever being seen. It proved that the US was ahead of the Soviet Union and created constant fear that one of these bombers might fly overhead at any moment. But the price of maintaining the B-2 has kept that possibility quite low. In 2022, its cost per flight hour was over $150,000. Yeah, you heard that right, that's per hour. Hence, it's no surprise its flight plan has been kept low. It's estimated that the B-2 requires 51 hours of maintenance for every hour in the air, meaning each flight has months of service afterward. And you can barely turn a screw on this plane, let alone work on any of its complex systems, unless you're in a temperature-controlled hangar. Probably heard, the US recently launched an airstrike against Iran using the B-2. And news around the world reported on. And even more recently, President Trump welcomed Vladimir Putin in Alaska with a B-2 flyover, a show of power before their peace talks started. But symbolic gestures like that aren't enough in a world where geopolitical tensions are rising. China is openly signaling its ambition to retake Taiwan, backing it up with regular military shows of strength. Meanwhile, Europe and the US are heavily supporting Ukraine with weapons, contributing to what many describe as a proxy conflict with Russia. And then there's the cyber war, with growing fears that Russia has the ability to launch digital attacks on Europe's infrastructure. It's a dangerous global situation, where information and cyber attacks can be just as powerful as guns and bombs. Now, Northrop Grumman is developing a stealth bomber to respond to these dangers, using the military's most powerful data-sharing network. So here is the B-21 Raider, the future of stealth and the new backbone of the fleet. Looking at it, you might think they just shrunk the B-2. And well, you're not entirely wrong. The designers kept what worked and improved on the model, rather than just starting from scratch. The name is partly an homage to the Doolittle Raiders, a group of pilots who carried out a surprise attack against the Japanese after Pearl Harbor. History of data brokers that collect our personal data. Your name, your email, phone number, and even your home address. And they sell it to whoever wants it. And it's not just random webs. Nebraska recently sued General Motors because their OnStar system was allegedly collecting driver data. Stuff like how fast people drive or how hard they brake, and selling it to insurance companies. Some drivers ended up with higher rates because of it. And that just doesn't feel right. Especially since it feels like we have never given them permission to do this. B-21 and its design. Remember, Northrop isn't just upgrading a plane, they're maintaining a legacy. They're building on past successes to create a warfighter that will last for decades and cost much less to make. The iconic wing spans 40 meters, shaving off 12 meters from the original bomber. The plane is even more compact, with estimates coming in at 16 meters. Underneath the plane, we can see the hidden bomber bay, tucked within the wing, which keeps the body tight and thank you guys for watching until the end. I really appreciate it.